Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at Friskies.com or visit your local store.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, so I wanted to talk on this ongoing trend that I see with content creators where they get canceled for something and then they want to turn around and do like a apology slash response slash explanation type video. And it's funny because they're not doing what people want them to do, and that's just to own up their to their issues, you know, own up to their accountability and stuff, and or take accountability but own up to their actions. That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to piece it together and it wasn't coming out properly. But anyways, but no, that's how a lot of those videos are. They just, anything that they say doesn't come out properly, and then they end up saying some old stupid stuff. Like, that's why I think a lot of times when you see, like, if it's a celebrity of some sorts, like let's say it's, I'm trying to think of some, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, let's say he slaps a photographer because he got too close. Usually people like that, Robert Downey Jr., like somebody that's on that level, they have like a publicist, somebody that specializes in apologies and overall like public conversations and stuff, like, or like having conversations with the public more so, like something in the likings of what Rob, and I think that's probably how that stuff be going down too, where they ask like, okay, Robert, like, what would you like to talk about, or what would you like to say, or what do you want this apology, I guess, like, post to be about and stuff. And then, yeah, then it's like they go through a little game plan, then they come up with it, and that's when you see them, like them publicists post, but it'll be like on Robert Downey Jr.'s social media account where he's like, hey, I just wanted to take the time to apologize for my actions. It was uncalled for. You know, I wanted to apologize to that photographer, how I reacted to you invading my personal space. It's something I should have handled a lot better, you know, and if there's anything that I could do or say to help, just let me know, blah blah blah. But yeah, they'll say something along those lines, and then you'll have it where there's people that don't have a publicist, they don't have nobody to help them out with an apology, and then they end up doing some stuff like, for an example, it's no, actually I think the video came out yesterday, but Just a Robot, for those that don't know, he came out with another response video. And it was horrible. Like, the video, I watched it myself, and it's one of those videos, it's no different than his other response video. It's just in this one, he's trying, I guess, to be serious. And it's like, fam, for as long as people have known you, they're not going to look at you as a serious person. You know, like, I guess, like, if he's wanting to look at that as a disrespectful thing to say, where it's like, okay, well, look at the character that you've portrayed for the however many years you've been this character. You know, I think there's, like, what, he created the Just a Robot character in between 2014, 2016, I don't know the exact year, but I think, that one guy, June the King or something like that, he did like a whole like documentary style video on Just a Robot where it's explaining all his stuff. And yeah, he's been acting like this for years now. So it's like it's one of those things where if you're trying, I guess, to apologize for your actions, it's like, fam, do you know how many actions you're gonna have to apologize for? It's one of those things, even if you exclude me out the list, people think I'm saying that because I want an apology, but even if my apology is excluded out of the list, there are so many different people out there that he has to apologize to, and I guess try to be on a good standings with them, you know. So that's why I'm like, yeah, watching that response video, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I can see why you need people to help you out with your content, because you'll be talking about some old random stuff. Like, so in this video, he's not really apologizing. He's more so trying to explain his thought process and stuff. So at some point in time in the video, he starts talking about his girlfriend, and I'm like, okay, you know, I guess like she in a way was a victim in this. I don't really know how, because I'm trying to think, like, he didn't listen to her. Like, when it came down to making that video about, because that's what the response video was about, was him talking on, he pretty much was doubling down on his Cinnabare video and stuff, and he was trying to make it seem like that the video that he made wasn't all that bad. And it's like, okay, you don't understand. You may not look at it as a bad video, not so much as talking about like it was a poorly edited video where it was just, no, the topic was bad. You're trying to shed light on a content creator that is a pedophile. You cannot, or a groomer, however you want to put it. You cannot shed light on that. There ain't no light to shed. Like, no, the light is going to go out, bruh. Like, you can't change people's mind on how they feel about a pedophile. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you really have to sit down and I guess think about it from another person's perspective. And I think the best way to possibly put it is, how would he have responded if I would have turned around and did the same thing that Cinnabare did? You know, like, if I went and like, oh yeah, I had inappropriate conversations with minors and stuff, but it's not all that bad. Do you think he would still be saying the same thing he said about Cinnabare? I guarantee and I promise you, if it was somebody that he is not cool with, that same situation, same scenario, completely different story. So it's like, yeah, whatever you would say about that person, that's what you should have been saying about Cinnabare. Don't be like, oh, because I can see Cinnabare as a potential ally, or I have romantic feelings towards her, therefore I gotta defend her. No, bruh, no. I'm like, my thing is this: it'd be somebody that I'm attracted to, they go down for some crazy stuff, no longer attractive. You know, and even if it's somebody where it's like, that's, yeah, for a woman. For a guy, it's like, if EDP, for an example, I used to be a fan of him, and after all that stuff had went down with him, I deleted any videos I had of him. I pretty much showed people what side of the situation I'm standing on, and I'm standing on the side of people where it's like, we're all gonna be having a mutual not agreement, but feelings towards the situation. So yeah, that's all. I'm like, yeah, you're trying to, pretty much that video was him trying to explain himself and get people to, I guess, not look at, but more so be in his mindset, like understand things like how he you know, understands things. And it's like, no, bruh, it don't work like that. Everybody is different. You can't. But overall, because I feel like I'm like going too deep into this, but when you're doing a response video, that's because that's what this is about and stuff. And I more so want to do this for content creators that have been canceled, and kind of just give them some advice when it comes down to doing it shouldn't be no response video. Overall, when you do something crazy, it always needs to be an apology video. Not no, oh, I apologize, but no, you need to apologize for all of your actions. Because, and that's the thing, that's why so many different people have looked at just a robot situation. It's like, okay, this guy is just weird, he's crazy. You sit down, you take the time to do a video defending the pedophile. That's not normal behavior. How many times have we seen content like that? How many times have we seen videos like that? And how many times did the person that made that video where they defended a pedophile, how many times has those individuals, I guess, built a career out of that? Or if they were known for doing some stuff like that, but they're a famous content creator to this day. That's why you see where content creators much bigger than just a robot, where if it's like a, cause no, there was the one dude from I think he was from the UK, but it was this guy, I can't think of that guy's name. I think Philae or something, like, I don't know. But anyways, there's this one content creator where he got caught up talking to a minor. All his friends cut ties with him. They didn't do no defense video. They didn't do, I'm trying to think of some other situation. Not Vanos, but it was somebody, I think it was Mini Lad, where he got caught up talking to a minor. Them guys didn't do no defense video for him. Yeah, I think they might still have some of the videos that they did with him still up on YouTube. But as far as defending him, no. They're like, no, we can't do that. But when you look at just not situations similar to it, but I guess like situations where something crazy happened, and even to reference I know it's like out of all things to reference, but it's just the first thing that came to mind, where you see how those guys were acting afterwards. They're not like, oh, because we're good friends with him, therefore we have to defend him. No, there ain't no defending, you know. But anyways, the situation in WWE back in 2007 when Chris Benoit, he, you know, his situation, for those that know of it, but for those that don't. So Chris Benoit was this wrestler where he, long story short, killed his wife and kid. And I think it had a lot to do with that he had like mental issues. But yeah, I mean, if you've seen a lot of the different stunts that he did in wrestling, like that's why you see wrestling has changed a lot over the years from when he was wrestling all the way up until now. So they don't be doing a whole lot. They do crazy stunts. They just don't be doing crazy stunts where it's going to affect their mental health and things. You know, yeah, their physical health, like that's just all around what wrestling is. But mental, they're like, nah, you know, if you gotta take breaks, you gotta, you know, relax a little, do what you gotta do. So but anyways, but no, after that situation, because it was crazy, because I remember when that had went down and they just thought he died. They was all like, okay, we like, you know, they did like a tribute thing for him. They were, you know, I think they I can't remember if they because they do like them like 10 bell salute things. I can't remember if they did that, but I do remember they had like an episode dedicated to him, because I remember I turned to wrestling and they were showing his old matches and I'm like, what's going on? And then there was like Chris Benoit passed away. I thought it was fake because this was right after Vince McMahon did that whole like car explosion thing. So I'm like, because I had just got into wrestling too on top of that, so that's why I'm like, yeah, this is probably fake. This ain't real. Then all of a sudden, I remember waking up, going to school, and my mom was all like, did a wrestler die yesterday? And I'm like, oh, wow, that is actually, that's real. Because I'm like, they talk about it on the news. It's 100% real. And I remember, that was with that Vince McMahon thing. I don't remember them talking about that on the news. So, but anyways, but after it was revealed on what he did, that he was the one that killed his wife and kid, then killed himself. Then, yeah, after that, I remember Vince McMahon, he came out on TV, and he said, like, pretty much, Chris Benoit is banned from WWE. Like, not why, because I know people would hear that, and they were like, how is he banned if he's dead? But more so, like, they can't mention him. They can't show his matches. I remember for a short while, if there was a match, because there was, I think he was a part of the 2005 Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania, and when they would show like replays of that match, if he was involved in the shot, they would just censor him out altogether. And so eventually they just got to a point where they was like, okay, we don't want to keep doing this every single time. Let's not just let's just have it where if there's like, yeah, big giant multi-wrestler match, we ain't even gonna mention that match. We're gonna mention any other match, or we're gonna just say, like, if it was like a match where like, let's say, yeah, the championship was on the line and he was involved, they'll just, instead of saying like, oh, they won their 5th championship at this pay-per-view involving these wrestlers and name drop Chris Benoit, they wouldn't do that. They'll just say like, oh, they're a multi-time champion. So they were like, yeah, we'll just sum it up. We ain't gonna give you no details and all that stuff. You'll have to look that up yourself. But yeah, they don't mention him no more. But and this was somebody that was like, he was loyal to their company. Like, he was, from what I hear, I think they say he wasn't really cool with people like that. But I would imagine, like, yeah, you know, working there, it's like, yeah, he had to be cool with people to a certain extent. Like, it wasn't like on no stuff. He just, maybe he did show up, leave, and then, yeah, didn't really say nothing to nobody. But I imagine that he was cool with people. I mean, yeah, he was professional enough to go out there and not like really hurt a person. Like, yeah, he was just doing the show and all that stuff. But anyways, but yeah, it's like, that's one thing about it though, is that you see that conversation with Chris Benoit, is that people will say that he's a great wrestler, but overall, like, his actions, what he did, that's unforgivable. Like, you can't like just make it seem, oh, because he's, and people try doing that. They'll try to be like, and then you see where they just get they get pushed down the ranks. It's like, your opinion doesn't matter. You're trying to defend somebody where the last thing that he did on earth was kill his family and himself, and we're supposed to be like, oh, well, he had a really good WrestleMania match. No, bro, we ain't looking at that. We ain't seeing that. So that's why, yeah, you seen where a lot of his fans, they stopped supporting him. Yeah, you still see where some fans still support him, but they ain't supporting him like how they once was before. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, with certain things in certain situations, you can't defend that. You can't be like, oh yeah, because overall at the end of the day, Chris Benoit, he did have mental issues, he did have some stuff going on, but his actions, though, what he did, you know, there ain't no excuses for that. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, people got to really look at that situation and be like, you know, you guys see like the bigger picture with it and stuff, rather than, oh, he was a really good wrestler. But it's like, yeah, that's just like for the few minutes that we're seeing him on TV, who he was behind doors. I'm like, that's the individual that we all need to be worried about and stuff, because look what he did behind doors. So, but anyways, but yeah, it's like, you know, people tried defending him, and it's like there ain't no defense for that and stuff. So getting back to just a robot and his situation, you know, he trying to defend Cinnabare. It's like there ain't no defense for what she did. It's like, yeah, you know, she did good content at one point in time, then she did that. But at the end of the day, the last thing that we all seen from this woman was her getting exposed for being a pedophile. So how are we supposed to put all the content that she's done over the years, and I guess, like, you know, put that over the last few things that she did? Because my thing is this: if you cared that much about your content creating career, you wouldn't turn around and do no stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, that's one of those things where people, they can say whatever, I guess, defending her, there ain't no defense for what she did. So it's like, yeah, then you turn around, you gotta do you should be doing an apology video, but you gotta turn around and do a response video and explain yourself. That's what I'm saying. It's stuff like that where before you get to that point, you need to sit down and think about it. What's more important, explaining myself or apologizing for my actions? And I know a lot of people, they'll say explaining yourself, but it's like, okay, you know of yourself, you support yourself, you don't have a problem with yourself, but it's others that have a problem with you. So when you turn around and do some stuff like that, how do you think people are going to feel about it? And that's exactly how I said it. It was all like, how do you think he would have reacted if I would have turned around and did what Cinnabare did? He wouldn't have been doing no defense video with me. He wouldn't have been like, oh, I can look at him as a... Well, yeah, if anything, it's probably the same thing that he wanted to do with Cinnabare. If it wasn't on no relationship stuff, he definitely wanted to use her to benefit his content creating career. Because think about it. She has, I don't know if she still has 500,000 subscribers. Hold on for a second. Let me look it up real quick. Cinnabare, let's see. Yeah, she still has 500,000 subscribers. I don't think she uploads videos anymore and stuff. Yeah, I think she stopped uploading. She ain't posting anything no more. So yeah, there was last thing that she did was a community posting, but other than that, she ain't doing. But no, overall though, big content creator. I don't know how many views. Let's see how many views. Check Social Blade and see what the views were like. Maybe, and probably it's different now, but yeah, what's going? Okay, hold on for a second. I think I gotta.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Dude, okay, there we go. I was like, I pressed the thing, but okay, yeah, she ain't really. Well, I guess like she's getting a little bit, you know. But it ain't like a whole lot. It ain't like something, you know, to brag about. Well, I mean, I guess like, yeah, you can brag about that. It's like she doing all right view wise, you know. But anyways, but yeah, overall though, it's one of those things where if he didn't have romantic feelings for her, he definitely wanted to use her to help out his content creating career. And it's like, fam, that's not how that goes. You get somebody. The thing is this: there are all these. You have all these different. You had at the time being, you had over 200,000 subscribers. You mean to tell me you couldn't have contacted any of your fans to help you out with your content? Because I would have rather have gone out like that. My thing is this: if there is ever a time where I need help with my content, I'm going to ask people that hasn't been canceled for some crazy stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, again, I'm going too deep. I feel like, okay, let me backtrack. Let me talk on, with apologies and responses and all that stuff. But anyways, yeah, it's like you talk on stuff like that. It's like, you got to speak your mind. You got to say how you feel and stuff. But anyways, so when it gets to that point where you done did something and you got to do an apology video. An apology video shouldn't contain, I guess, how you overall feel about stuff, or trying to get other people involved in things, because and it's so difficult, I guess, to not talk about that his latest response, because there are some things that, bump all that. We're gonna be using that video as an example. I was trying to think of other stuff, but I'm like, no, that's the main thing that I know I can reference and use examples and all that other stuff. So in the video, he goes and he's trying to double down on his actions, and he's trying to get for an example, the sleepy time conversations that he be having in the middle of the night with people. So it was that, and I think it was something else. You'll just have to see the response video yourself if you want to sit through it and stuff. But he was getting his friends involved and was trying to justify his actions and stuff. He's all like, no, this ain't just something I was doing with Cinnabear. This is something I do with everybody. Yeah, you told us that. We didn't need no clarification, or no, I guess here are my witnesses and stuff. We don't care about that, bro. It's one of those things where if we're in a courtroom, you brought in witnesses for no reason, pretty much. It's like, fam, you just defended a pedophile. What, and then on top of that was trying to build a friendship, relationship, whatever it is that you were trying to do, but you were building some sort of foundation with this pedophile. Do you think, okay, let me get into my judge, mode and stuff. Let me get into a judge mindset, because I definitely would have been looking at him and been like, why did you bring in witnesses? Okay, the case today is that you defended a pedophile, all right? Now, you're looking at a mandatory lifetime, of constant harassment and hate and stuff. You're looking at 20 years to a lifetime of harassment by the internet, all right? I don't think you understand what you just did. You defended a pedophile. What we're trying to figure out is why. You claim that it's because you wanted to shed light or make it seem like that what she did wasn't all that bad, and that's when you got to ask him. It's like, okay, because I did say this, because I did do a reaction to the video, and I did say this. So you have a kid, and your kid gets or I guess brings it to your attention that an adult just asked them, or no, not asked, because in Cinnabear's situation, she was sending the minor inappropriate art and stuff. So what would you do? Your kid doesn't know how to process this. An adult just sent them inappropriate art of whatever. I heard the noise, but we're good. But anyway, sent inappropriate art of whatever to your kid. How do you respond to that? Do you get mad at the end? So the thing is this: we seen how Just a Robot would respond to it, and he's the type of person that would get mad at his kid. So it's one of those things where it's like, do you think that you are mentally fit to be a content creator where you're trying to change the perspective of how we view a pedophile / groomer? Do you think that you're mentally fit if that's the one video that you could have came up with that day? All these different videos you could have did gaming videos. You could have did, I guess he's into movie reviews or media reviews, whatever and stuff. You could have did that. You could have did, I'm trying to think of some other stuff, comedy skits. You could have, even if my thing is this, if it was a toss up between seeing that video or another video on me, fam, do another video on me. But you're doing a video where you're defending a pedophile. How does one do that and then try to make it seem like that it's okay, but let it be somebody else? It's a problem. And then you, instead of doing a proper apology video where you're apologizing for your actions, and I guess people would ask, how do you apologize for some stuff like that? the thing is this: an apology, it's always needed, but the forgiveness part, though, that's left up to the community. That's left up to the audience. If they want to forgive him, then they forgive him. If they don't, then it's one of those things. I guess if he would have did a proper apology video, or hadn't even have just done the video in the first place, he wouldn't be in the position that he's in right now. But let's just say he did a proper apology video. How should that video have gone down? So let me put myself in his shoes, and I just did a video defending EDP 445, and people are wanting an explanation. People are like, what do I have to say for myself? So anyways, I'm starting the video. I'm like, hey guys, I realized I made a mistake when I did that defense video for EDP 445. I was more so looking at it as a fan perspective, but I ain't like, it's not even on, not so much as I didn't realize, but I wasn't paying attention to what he did, not like how I should have been paying attention to it. And when I sit down and I think about it, if that's me, if I'm that kid, or if I'm that parent and EDP is meeting up with my kid claiming he wanted a cupcake, that's a problem. That's an issue, and I wasn't thinking about that. All I just wanted to do was defend a YouTuber that I was a fan of. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong, and I should have never did that video. So everybody, I apologize. No buts. No, oh, well, this person said this, or this person did this, or I didn't have time to look over this, or my roommate wasn't here to help me with this. No, this is all on me. This ain't on nobody else. This ain't on nobody that leaked out a defense video. This ain't on nobody that didn't look over the video. This is all on me. Because here's the thing, what he fails to understand. This video that you was working on, you're working on it. It's not your roommate, it ain't your girlfriend, it ain't your neighbor, it's you that's working on this video. So I guess, yeah, you apologize to them, that's good. But at the end of the day, what reason did you have to apologize to them? Like, all you just did was not listen to them. But at the end of the day, it's like, and I guess, like, that is a line of disrespect, especially to the girlfriend, because I'm like, man, like, it's one of those things where it's like, on some stuff like that, you think that, if you're going around asking for advice, and I guess, like, you end up coming across your girlfriend, and then she's like, yeah, don't do that video, like, do another video, but don't do that video. You just turn around and you're like, well, I'm gonna do the video anyways. Fam, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, if his girlfriend, I'm like, yeah, you definitely gonna have to reconsider that relationship, because my thing is this is going to be an all the time occurrence where it's not, he ain't even gonna consult with you. He ain't going to, I guess, think of how would you overall react to this. He's gonna be like, no, I'm just gonna do whatever, and she's gonna have to stay by my side and support it. That's crazy, like, that's some wild stuff. So that's why I'm like, man, I guess, yeah, it's like an apology is needed for her. And I mean, his roommate, at the end of the day, it's like his roommate and him seem like that they close. So, but I still think that it's not his responsibility to look over documents that my thing is this, even if I had to, without looking at the documents of Cinnabar, just the topic, just the headline of the story, she sent a minor inappropriate art. That's all that I needed to see. I guess the evidence to me would just be the icing on the cake. But other than that, I'm like, okay, the topic, the headline, that's enough for me to see where this isn't a good person. I can't do no defense video for that. So, and people probably ask, like, how do you do a video like that without looking at the evidence, but do it in a way where it's like you're not defending her? So, yeah, I guess, like, all right, so let's just say a scenario where I come across Cinnabar situation, and I'm supposed to do a video on it. So I see the headline, and I've done stuff like that before, where I see the headline and I don't read on something. But anyways, yeah, let's say I'm supposed to do that video. So I see it, start the video up. Hey guys, so I just seen this let's just say it was an article or something, right? So I just seen this article where a YouTuber sent a minor inappropriate art. How is this person still on YouTube? How does this person still have a platform? How have they not been banned across every social media platform across the internet? Because to me, it's like, you guys sit down and think about it, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whichever platform this individual is on, I would imagine that the people that are in control of these platforms, they have kids. how would that make you feel if this person built their channel up all the way up to 500,000 subscribers, and they're out here having inappropriate conversations with minors? And here's the thing, let's just say, like, yeah, she did do an apology and all that other stuff, and we're supposed to believe that because in her apology she said that she'll never do that again. We can't take no chances. This person has to get up off the internet. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where if what she did was okay, you would still see her uploading videos left and right, but she's not. So that's why I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, do you honestly think that it was a smart idea to do that video? Then instead of doing an apology for your actions and taking accountability for your actions, you decide to pretty much double down in the first response video, realize that that wasn't a good video, and instead of just properly apologizing, you're like, no, I'm going to spin back and I'm going to double down on my doubling down of how I feel about Cinnabare. Yeah, bro, it's one of those things where, and to his, I guess his final few fans, this is who you guys are a fan of, where it's like, he ain't even taking the time to listen to you guys. I'm pretty sure that there's fans that's commenting underneath his videos and they're telling them, hey, bro, you need to, like, you know, you gotta chill out, like, you shouldn't have did that video and stuff. He's looking at it as like, oh, I gotta argue with this person, they don't know nothing, and it's like, oh, I gotta say disrespectful things about this individual, because that's something too. If, let's say, this video it was a success on his channel, he just started skyrocketing and blowing up and all that other stuff, do you think he would still have the same opinion about that video that he has right now? Then now that he's been canceled, do you think he still will have that same opinion, or I guess the same feelings, if he hadn't been canceled? Because I guarantee and I promise you, it's like all that would have did was just filled up his ego, and he's like, oh, if that's the case where I can go and defend a pedophile and it works, it's the next thing, it would have been something crazy like a mass murder or something. And you were like, oh yeah, that person, what they did, it wasn't that bad. The people shouldn't have been in that location to get shot. I guarantee and I promise you, if that Cinnabare video would have been a success, he would have said some stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, you know, watching his response videos and I guess quote unquote apologies, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, it's not something that you even do research on. You just overall know how to apologize to somebody, you know, because my thing is this, right? Let's say you do something, I guess, bad to your girlfriend. Let's say you hurt her feelings. You said something to her that hit like a trigger button, and she breaks down in tears and start crying. I feel like that Just a Robot, he would say some stuff that would definitely end the relationship. He don't know how to that's the thing. People like him, they don't know how to apologize. The funny thing is, you see it in TV shows, you see it in movies where one of the characters had to apologize to the other character, and they're like, hey, I'm sorry. And it's like they're struggling a little bit. Like they can't say sorry. They can't apologize. Because the thing is this. At least once in your life, there is going to be a time where you do something to somebody and you are going to have to apologize. You know, even if it's on some funny stuff or if it's on some serious stuff, you're going to have to apologize. But the thing is this, though. It might be once in your life. It might be multiple times in your life. Regardless, you know how to apologize. Because even if it's on some stuff where somebody did something to you and you're expecting an apology from them, you can even learn from that. You can learn from that as an example of how to apologize to somebody. But it's like you pretty much went, like, not even went against, but it's like you took your own, I guess, feelings to, you wanted to get other people involved, but their opinions on the matter didn't match with yours. You went with yours instead of going with the majority audience, and now we're supposed to, I guess, be okay with how you feel. Nah, bro, you gotta get up off the internet. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, but anyways, yeah, people, if you're gonna do an apology video, do a proper apology video. Actually apologize. Don't be like, oh, I apologize, but this person leaked out the video. My roommate didn't help me look over the documents. My girlfriend is shorter than me. My cat jumped across my computer screen and it sent me into a frenzy. Like, bro, don't nobody care about that. So anyways, yeah, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.